Hello, good evening or good morning, everyone. It's depending upon your now timing. My name is Shady Selim. I am from GDG Helwan and from Cairo Kotlin user group. I am here to give you this week session about Jetpack Compose Android Dev Challenge. It is week 2 and it is countdown timer. And today we are going to learn some more about coding and we'll start coding by ourselves. Okay, so let's start by introducing this challenge. What is this challenge is for? Android had announcement the last week that this now Jetpack Compose is now in beta. Oh yes, it's now in beta, so you can now use it in your enterprise or in the application, and don't worry about the support. And you can use it in different level of application and in production application as well. So that's good news, but going with that news also, Android teams, they announced for the new challenge, the Android Dev Challenge Jetpack Compose. We are now in week 2 for this challenge, and week 2 is about countdown timer. So what they want us to do in this week? They want us to do a simple countdown from any time till 0. What we need to do in this assessment or assignment, to be exact, the UI must be fully in Compose, no XML or XML layout should be used in this application. So how to start? First, I can start by using the GitHub repository template. So this is the Android GitHub account, and this is the Android Dev Challenge Compose template. All I have to do is to click use this template, and will take me to my account, and I can name my repo with any name, write in a description, and of course I must make it public, and then create a repo. This will create a template from the Android challenge template, and then I will make a pull for it and will edit it. I will in this time or in this week we are going to tackle state and animation. So what is state, to be exact? And of course, this every week they've got a sample or a new prizes. For this week, they have this sticker, Android Dev Challenge Compose sticker, with a little comic strip book posters that it will tell you how Compose just save us from the chaos of the XML and the other crazy layouts. Yes, this is crazy. Actually, if you learned how to use list or lazy list, you will find that you don't now need to make a complex React Native, adapter and applying this adapter to your recycle view. You don't have to do anything, only you got to use this lazy, beautiful list, and with some beautiful features that you can see later. So this is the price for the first 500 submissions for this week. And also, I will give you some hints that my account had been visited by the Google team themselves. My Twitter account had been visited by Google team. So you will be noticed by Google, and Google can see you and see your work. And maybe you will be chosen to do some crazy assignment and maybe headhunted. Maybe. You will never know. So it will be something good that you will be noticed by the Google team and the Android team, of course. So what is state? As I mentioned that I've got to do some state and some animation. So what is state? A state is any value that can change over time. So it's like a global variable. It's like a variable, but this variable is changeable. I can sense it and understand if any of this value is going to change. And actually, I need to observe it. So if I'm going to use live data, so I will need to use the live data, or if I'm using Rx Java, or I'm using the coroutines flow or just flow. So there are many kinds of fancy ways that I can observe this variable. So it's, of course, it's immutable, mutable variable. That's why I needed to make it a var. And as I said, that I can use other types to listen to this mutable state variable using live data or flow or Rx Java, for example. But how can I do it? Okay, let me simplify it to you as much as I can. I will show you a sample of code. Yeah, and here is my sample. I didn't want to do some complex UI in this application. I did want it to be as simple as I can. And here is my mutable data. This is my state variables. As I mentioned, they should be in var because it's going to be changed over time. For example, here I have progress. Here I have change clock countdown. This is a Boolean. I will make it take a Boolean value. To make it observable, I will use this is something special for Jetpack Compose by remember. So by using by remember, so I told Jetpack Compose that this is a state value, and I need to observe. So why do I need to observe it? What is the meaning of to observe a value? What is the use to observe a value? To make it simple, if the value changed, so the UI will be changed. So will be listeners, one in the code and the other one in the UI, which is now in Jetpack Compose. So if I change the value using the code, the UI will sense that by listening on these variables that some change had been done, and the value will be changed. And also, if I change the UI, the code itself, it's listening with the same variable. So by listening with the same variable, it will notify the UI will notify the variables that it will be changed, and the code will be changed too. So it is two-way binding or two-way listeners. This is the meaning of the observables. That's why I am observing, which means that I am looking at or listening to. I made a simple ticker using the native counter downtime. It is native in the Jetpack Compose and in Android to be exact. I made an object of it and name it timer and make it tick. Tick is a way for my counter or my ticker to be alarmed that it need to do some actions. And with every tick, I will just count down 1 second and update my UI. To see that on action, allow me to show you my emulator. So this is my emulator. When it starts, I initiated my data by 10 seconds. Of course, I will change that later. This is only for showing purpose. And when I will click start, I will update my UI. The UI, which means the text, and also this circle. As you can see, there is an animation in this circle, and also the text is changing, and the text color also is changing. Now it's purple, now it's light purple, and now it's lighter purple, and when it's done, it will return to black. So how exactly did I draw this circle? It's not important, but I will tell you, it's a circular progress indicator. It's built in UI from the material UI toolkit for the Jetpack Compose. And I drew two circles over each other. One which will change its color, and the second one which is in the tile color, which is the one that is shown beneath. So I am only taking part or removing from the upper circle and showing off the beneath circle. And as I mentioned, I also change the color of the text, and also changing the text itself by counting down. This is all states. So I am using changing the color through states by animating color as a state, and changing the timer counting down through state. And this is my initial counter, which is 10 seconds. So that's why it's 10,000, because it's counted in milliseconds. And the second have 1,000 milliseconds. And this is the progress. The progress is in float. It starts with 0 or 1. 1, which is 100%, it's full, and 0, which is means that it is there is nothing of it. And 0.5, which is means half. So I will be in my half path. If there is any questions, please share it with me, and I will be happy to answer it. So let me revise with you what I said in today's session, that this challenge is week 2 countdown timer, and this is the challenge, and we've got to make it fully in UI using Jetpack Compose. Don't use XML at all. And how to do that? By starting with the GitHub repository pattern template, and how I can start or log into this page. Actually, you can go to android.developer.com and then click Jetpack, and there you will find the announcements for the new Jetpack Compose, and you'll go for this page, which is the David challenge. And from it, read the challenge details, and here you will find the challenge details and the GitHub repo. Remember to submit your entry after you finish. You need to enter 2 screens. This is something that I missed to say. Okay, thank you for reminding me. After I will create the template. It will be something like that. Allow me to show you. Yes, here it is. Okay, after I will create my template, and I change the title of my project, my repo, Android Dev Challenge Compose Week 2. You can name it whatever you need or whatever you like. This will be your README. It will tell you that you've got to create 2 screens. The first one you will name it screenshot underscore 1.png, and second one you will name it screenshot underscore 2.png. You will upload them both to the result folder. There is already 2 images and you are going to replace them. You will also need to create a video, a small video for your project, and name it video.mp4. Why you need this video? The Google team can showcase your application by using this video, and they'll take a snip from it and compile it with another snippets from other projects, and they'll showcase of your application if you've been selected. So this is the submission requirements. And of course, you need to work with Android Studio Canary build, because this is the build that will have the updates of your library for the Jetpack Compose library. It's a beta one, of course. And after that, remember to delete this file, the README file, and you will find another file, which is the README template.md. You will rename it to readme.md. So it will be the main file that will open when you open your repo. And as I mentioned, that there is 2 images and you are going to replace them. So this will be replaced by your images. And of course, update the description, write your motivation. And if there is another info that you need to add, just add it. And write the title of your application, if you have a title for it. And that's it. And happy submission, everyone. And hope that you will be from the first 500 people and get this strip poster and show it to us and share it to us in your media. Remember to use this this tutor handler, hashtag GDG حلوان, and hashtag Kotlin Cairo user group. By using these handlers, okay, this is the first handler, hashtag GDG حلوان. And the other handler, Kotlin Cairo user group. By using these 2 handlers, there is another gift and prize that will be given from GGG حلوان and Kotlin Cairo user group, which is an account for 1 year of free usage of any of the JetBrains products that you need to use. If you would like to use the IntelliJ IDEA Ultimatum, you can use it. If you need to use PyCharm or whatever the Jetpack, the JetBrains applications that you need to, you'll have a 1 year's full subscription for free. Just use the Kotlin Cairo user group and GGG حلوان in your Twitter after your submission, and we'll make a draw. Every week we make a draw, and a new subscriber or a new submitter will take this gift from us. Allow me to share the link of my repo. I think it might be helpful to look at the code again. github.com Shady Selim Android dev challenge compose week 2. And let me see the questions. Okay, some of you asked why do I speak in English, because I've been expecting some of the attendees would be from English-speaking country, or from Africa, or from US, so that's why I am giving this lecture in English and speaking in English. Between this approach state and Jetpack Compose and implementation the same with recycle view, adapter, and view-holder. Okay, so our colleague Mahmoud Hussein is asking if this approach is different. The state and Jetpack Compose and implementation the same with recycle view, adapter, and view-holder. This is the idea, that you don't need now to create an adapter. You don't need to create a recycle view. You don't need to create a view holder. Or what you need to do is to create a Jetpack Compose template with lazy list or with list. You can just create and add your data and inject it into your UI directly. And also your UI can be because it's composable, you can reuse it in each screen that you need to use it for. And it will be dynamic and it will be generic. So it's much less code and easier to use and easier to design and easier to implement. It depends on two idioms, which are reactive UI and declarative UI. And of course, using the state as a mindset. A state is very important, and it is the new trend now in the development, because if you notice that there is a new trend or a new pattern that has been introduced about 2 years, 1.5 years ago, which is MVI. The MVI pattern, which is the model view intent, it depends on the state. The intent here is the state. So it depends on the state because they notice that using the MVM, yes, it is much, much better than the MVC and the MVP in the way that it is maintainable and the stability of it is higher. But there is some problems that emerged, that when you are using the MVM with fragments, if your screen have multi-fragments, for example, you have a fragment for the search list and fragment for the list of your shopping cart and fragment of your any other products that might be similar to your product of your shopping cart. So you'll have different fragments on your screen. It will be difficult to handle this fragment with the MVVM pattern, because if each fragment should have its own state. As we mentioned, state is the context that if it changes, it should notify the fragment that its state had been changed, so it will update its UI or update its view. The MVI pattern came and solved this problem. That's why the MVI pattern is considered the latest and the most promised and the most advised one to be learned and to be used. And Jetpack Compose, it depends on the states, as we noticed. That's why they complement each other, and it will be very useful to learn Jetpack Compose and MVI. That means that you will get a better chance to be hired in the international companies. And of course, as I mentioned, all the apps will be updated using Jetpack Compose, and it will use the MVI pattern. And why also Jetpack Compose is very important. XML is very slow. Actually, this might be the bottleneck that slow your activity while it's loading and while it's been building. And why is that? Because XML, as we all know, is interpreted language, which needs XML parser. And XML parser, it's to understand every element on your XML, it needs to upload every element of this of this file into the memory. So it will understand all the elements on it. And if you have different elements, different UI elements overlapping each other, it will take more time to be drawn and will more time to be calculated using the XML parser and also the Android the Android app. Because as I said, it is interpreted, so it needs to be read on runtime. But because Jetpack Compose is in Kotlin, so it will be compiled. So it will be already in the memory when your application starts or when your activity starts. So it will take fragment of seconds just to load or to draw it on your screen. It's much faster, and it is cleaner, and you will not have to learn these brackets anymore. All what you need to do is to be strong in Kotlin and use. Okay, let's look at the code again. Let's have a look at our UI. So now I need to use a column. So this is my column. Inside it, I have a box, and inside the box, I have a row. And in the same place of my box, I will have I will have this row. Okay, it might be if you didn't work with Jetpack Compose before, it might be difficult to understand. So let me just try to make it easier for you by using. Okay. Just open Jetpack Compose from developers.android.com. First Jetpack, then Compose. As you see, that animation is out of the box. It is much easier. Animation and material design is out of the box. What element you are going to use, it will be easy to animate, and it will be out of the box using the material design. So this is Compose setup. Let's code. Start course. This is a pathway. Yeah, this is a very good pathway that you can start. It will give you the definition of the Jetpack Compose and its basics. If we will open this article, this is tutorial how to start using Jetpack Compose. This is the hello world, and then the text, the layout. Then it making the layout more complex by using image and some text, and using the material design by giving the image these corners which are shaped, and also the typography to change the color and to change the size of the text and the text style. Then we can have this video, Compose beta overview. It will give you some overview. Then the mental model. This is very important, and this is the one that I needed to show you. Thinking in Compose. How can you think in Compose to start working with it? The events and data. This is the state mind, dynamic content, recomposition. And this is the layout. So this is thinking in Compose. It is very important to have an idea about it. Managing state, it is what we need to do in this week submission, working with the states. And this is the layout. And this is the difference. If I said column, then it will be like literal layout. So I will have my views in columns. If I said row, then I will have my layout in rows. And box to have a layout overlapping another layout. So they will be over each other. That's why I use the box in my application to create these two progressive bars, circular progressive bars over each other. Of course, to make my code cleaner, so I made a composable. Here, this should be the starting point, which is my app. This is my starting point. And here I had a card to draw a card view in my application, a card view. And inside the card view, I use this composable countdown UI. I created this composable so I can create all the UI elements inside it and make my starting app clean and clear. Make it concise and smaller. This will be called from the main activity set content, my theme, my app. So this my app, which is composable, will be called from my app. Also, you will find the two other composable, which is composable light preview and composable dark preview. This is preview. The only purpose of these composables is that I can see the preview of my composables from here, layout inspector. I'm sorry, there should be a preview. Okay. So the idea that, yeah, here it is from the design. I'm sorry. Here in the design, okay, let's make it in split. It will be much better. This the emulator. It will be you can find it in version 4.2 Android Studio 4.2. That you can write, you can open your emulator right from your IDE. So I will not have to navigate from each other, but I can find my emulator from inside. And the layout inspector, so I can see my application and I can see how it is composed. And the elements the elements in it. Yeah, here it is, the dark screen, the dark theme and the light theme. So I can see my application, how it will appear on both themes, the dark theme and the light theme. And as it seems that my text needs to be edited so it can be visible if the user is using the dark mode or the night mode. So the preview, which means that I need to see it in my preview when I open the design or the split. And here I told him the fun light theme, I will use the light theme, and fun dark theme. And here I change my theme, dark theme equal true. To check my design. So the three of them, the main activity and the light preview and the dark preview, they all call the my app composable my app, which, as I said, to make it cleaner, so I made the my whole UI composable and name it countdown compose. And here what I needed to show you that these circles, circle progress indicator 1 and circle progress indicator 2, I didn't name it, of course, 1 and 2, but I used them inside a box. And also I used a row to put the text, which is the counter text. That's how I put the two circles over each other and also the counter over them using the box. So the box will enable me to put layouts over each other, stack them over each other. And there is also column, we'll put them in horizontal, in ordered. And there is a row, we'll put them in vertical ordered. And also, of course, there is a constraint layout that I can use with Jetpack Compose. So the layout will be fine to look at it. Theming will be good, but to be frank, our code this week is more about managing the state. As I see that there are no further questions, I will happy to answer any more questions if you have any more extra questions that you need to ask. As you can see, if I didn't use any column layout or box, they'll be stacked over each other, and the box will also make them stacked over each other. It is much easier and easy to understand. If I need to put a text view, or what I need to write is text, and then open brackets and double quotation, and this is the text or the string that will be written in my text. If I need to add any style for it, I will make I will put a comma, then I put a modifier, as you can see on my code here in my text. The color, I can change the color from here, as I mentioned that my color is animated or it changed. That's why it is a variable. The style is this typography H3, and this is my text. It is also dynamic, as you saw in my example. And if I need to do any alignment or anything, I can use a modifier. A modifier is to add a width or a height, or to modify the UI of my view. We always use a modifier. I hope you got it all, and you are now ready to submit your second week submission. And remember to use Kotlin Cairo user group hashtag, and to use GDG Helwan hashtag, so we can give you prizes from our chapter GDG Helwan. Hope you understand everything that I tried to teach you about this week challenge, and hope you are now more ready to enter this challenge and to submit your challenge. As mentioned, it is very important that will be noticed by the Google and by the Android team, and you might have a challenge to be selected for a random interview or headhunting. Happy hunting and happy coding, and have a nice week, and hope to see you after the next challenge that will be announced the next Wednesday. It will be Wednesday at night, Thursday at morning. So we might have another session about the third week on our 4 weeks of a challenge, and we can talk more about Jetpack Compose and what we need to do for the new challenge. Happy coding and have a nice day. And yes, there is another question. You are most welcome, Mahmoud. Hopefully you all enjoyed and you all learned a new topic and new knowledge from this session. Okay, if there is no more questions, I'll have to farewell you for now. Till the next week or till the next Thursday. Happy coding and keep safe, keep home, and always follow GDG Helwan. Bye and have a nice day.